Divergences. All right, divergence is when prices are going up and your MACD or your indicator is going down. What does that mean? So the MACD is a measure of momentum, how fast your momentum is or how strong your momentum is. All right, so do you guys see that? The green line is going up, which means the highs are going higher, right? This one, the bands are dropping. Is that good or bad? That's bad. It means that as prices are going up, your momentum is going down. Okay? Today, so this is what we call a bearish divergence. Okay, so if I refer to divergences all the time, remember earlier in my presentation earlier, I was talking about divergences in the PSEI. This is the PSEI. Okay? Alongside it, in this period here, the lows are going lower, right? But as the lows are going lower, what's happening to the MACD? It's going up. That means what? This is bullish. Right? So as the MACDs are dropping, as the price is dropping and the MACD is going up, it means that the underlying momentum is slowing down. Does that make sense? It doesn't mean it's going to go up immediately. It just means that the velocity of prices going down is slowing, which means that you're closer to the bottom than you are to the top. Make sense? All right. Establishing a stop. Is this important? Yeah, super important. Okay? So like I said, cash is king. It is the defensive position. The advantage of a retail investor like you guys is that at any point in time, you can go into cash. Yes or no? Yes, you can have the flexibility to liquidate at any point in time and be in a defensive position. You have to take advantage of that. If I'm a multi-billion-dollar fund, can I turn into cash overnight? Yes or no? No. That's their weakness. Does that make sense? You have an underlying strength that a big fund cannot do. Okay? So you have to use it. So now the question is, when do we use it, right? So there are 3 areas where I want you guys to be very critical about. The first one is trend line breaks. So I taught you guys how to draw trend lines. Yes or no? If the trend line is broken, you should be selling, please. All right? Next. Trailing stop. So a trailing stop means what? As prices go up further, are you more willing to sell at a better price? Yes or no? Right? You don't want it to wait until prices break that, may black bar ako dito, at 140 level, right? The 200 EMA is 140, correct? Yes, you guys see it here? Where the red line is here? Close to that line, that when prices broke below the 200 EMA, do you want to wait until and sell at that point? Yes or no? No. Would you rather sell at that higher price at 153, 154, where the 50 EMA is broken? Yes or no? Yes. So the reason why we give you 2 lines is so that you can take profits faster. You don't have to wait until the 200 EMA to sell. Does that make sense? And the last one, obviously, is areas of clear support. So today, if you are purchasing this stock today, this is BDO, right? If you're purchasing this stock and you bought it on, wala tuloy. If you're buying it tomorrow, if it goes to 140, your stop should be around 125. Does that make sense? Right? So you measure enough risk that when it goes to 125, you can still sleep at night. Does that make sense? If it goes past 125, wala na, hindi na kayo matulog. So you have to start selling. Does that make sense? That's your level of buffer. Got it? Okay. So manage your positions. All right, what do we got here? Diversification. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? So when I say diversify, does that mean I'm going to diversify into 5 stocks? BPI, Metrobank, BDO, Security Bank, East West. Yes or no? That's 5 stocks, right? Bakit hindi pwede yun? You're still buying the same sector. You're still buying all the banks, right? That's not diversification, because if something happens in terms of our interest rates, all the banks go bad. Yes or no? Yes. Right? So do your best to be able to diversify into 3 to 5 stocks as much as you can, but different sectors. Good? Okay, next. So 3 to 5 stocks, right? 33% to 20% each. Right? We recommend somewhere along these lines. Okay? Next. Add up only to a winning position. And of course, the opposite is don't average down. Okay, I'm going to talk about this extensively. How many here average down? Wow. Okay, maraming sinungaling dito. Okay. Why do you average down? Why? Makes us feel better. Diba? Makes us feel better. Guys, what are you actually doing? Are you adding to a problem, or are you adding to a winning position? A problem. Why do you want more of a problem? First and foremost, right? 2, did you know that let's say if you have 100,000 in a stock, right? You want to average another 100,000. Did you know that if you took that 100,000 and you bought a stronger stock, it's the same? Because if you took the 100,000 and that other stock is stronger, yes? And lang pipili kayo ng bulok, syempre you're going to pick the stronger stock, right? If you take the 100,000 and you put it in a stronger stock and that stronger stock goes up, it's the same as averaging down. Does that make sense? It's the same thing. It's just a matter of asset allocation, right? If your price is going down and you want to average down, are you averaging on the strong or the weaker one? The weaker one. Why don't you just take the money you're going to average and put it in a stronger stock? Does that make sense? This is what you guys should be doing. You should not be averaging down on a losing position. You're just amplifying your problem. The only time I will allow you guys to average down is if your primary objective was to average, which is what we call EIP. Right? Peso cost averaging. If the objective in the first place was the peso cost average, okay lang. Otherwise, you should not be averaging down. Does that make sense? Why do you add on to a winner? Why do you add on a winner? If you're going to be adding, it's always the strongest on the board, right? Ang problema sa atin, pag umakit yung stock, bebenta ko na, kumikita na ako eh. Right? You have to change that mentality. The losers, you cut. The winners, you want more of it. Does that make sense? Make sense? Okay. Yo.
I always buy based on COL Financial's recommendation.
Thank you.
Semirara
Yes.
has always been recommended.
Correct.
But it keeps going down on
Yes.
price.
Yep.
So we
know.
so we continue to buy.
Yes.
So that as the market is going down, we continue to average down.
Yes.
Because it's a recommended stock.
Correct. Correct.
Are you saying
I
we
agree.
should have sold Semirara and went to some other recommended stock like FGen, which is also recommended by COL?
Yes. Completely agree. I completely agree.
Pero bumababa din siya.
Correct.
So
Correct. Okay. These are great. These are great. That's a great question. Okay. Here's the advantage that you guys have today, and what you did not have before today, is now you have a market timing element that you did not have before. Correct? So the problem before is that you just buy blind faith lang tayo on the recommendation of COL, regardless of whether the prices are potentially going to go up or going to go down, correct? So now you have an edge, and this edge is market timing. That means that if the price is below 200 EMA, should you still be buying it, yes or no? No. So what you want to do is this. Okay, I'll just give you a scenario. I'm a professional trader. That means on every single day, I look at on average 600 to 1,000 charts globally. That's on average, okay? Most of the time, it's closer to the 600 level, all right? what is probably going to be the more profitable position? Doing what I do, looking at 600 charts a day, or looking at your 10 favorite stocks and market timing them? 10 stocks that you know inside out, all you do is, these are the 10 stocks that I like, and I wait for entry points of forms of duration, right? Or wait for prices to break above moving averages. Does that make sense? Guys, you don't need to look at 600 stocks a day. You don't need to look at 100, all the stocks in the PSEI every day. You just need to find the 10 favorite companies that you like, and you be patient with them. You guys are not momentum traders, unlike the other room, right? You guys are position traders. That means that you pick the stocks that you like, and then you take your time purchasing them, right? You don't need to be in a rush. Does that make sense? And you hold it when prices are running. Does that make sense? That's all you need to do. We don't need to be in a situation where we're trying to be too smart, where every single time prices are going down, bibili tayo, bibili tayo, bibili tayo, bibili tayo. And we don't know how low that can go. So even if April's recommendation on FGen and Semirara are currently not so great, the overall objective is still a 6 to 12-month horizon. Does that make sense? Right? So it's very difficult for us to be able to say whether or not she's right or wrong. Okay? Except for FGen. FGen, she's wrong. Okay? Sorry. Sorry for those who have FGen. But what I'm trying to say here is that when prices are breaking below, let's say Semirara breaks below the 200 EMA, you should be selling, regardless of what April says. Okay? That means that we have to be in a position where we can accept that loss at that point in time. Does that make sense? Right? Because if prices reverse and are breaking above the 200 EMA, you can always buy it back, sir. Is that good? Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes. We actually like Semirara.
If they themselves... Okay, I'll repeat. At this point in time, the Lopezes have been buying back Semirara from around the price of 35 down. So based on that, I bought Semirara because if they themselves
Correct.
find it undervalued,
Yes.
then
I agree. Correct. We
it's
also like,
just a matter of time.
yes, we also like Semirara.
But unless they really do not allow the open pit mining
That's the
anymore.
problem. That's the problem. So currently kasi, all of the we actually believe that all the headwinds of Semirara today are already priced into the current price. The current value of Semirara, lahat ng mga headwinds nila in terms of the open pit and whatnot are already priced in at this level. So we actually believe Semirara is actually very attractive at this point. I mean, it went down, what, 50% ata from, yeah, something like that from its peaks, diba? So we actually believe that Semirara is very attractive today, okay? But in terms of market timing it, that's a completely different story altogether. Does that make sense? So what you guys are asking for in the Trader Summit is a general form of market timing, to be able to create that edge. Does that make sense? So regardless of if everything's being priced in today, it doesn't necessarily mean prices will go up. Does that make sense? So we have to wait for that market timing element for us to be able to get in. Is that good? All right. Okay, let me finish this and then we got a Q&A. We can ask all the questions you want later on, okay? Because I have 5 minutes left. Okay, so the next one. Follow the upright trading pyramid. Okay, let's talk about this for a second. Upright trading pyramid looks like this. Okay. I have a friend, okay? She's a friend of my wife and a friend of, sabi niya sa akin, malas siya sa stock market. Okay? Anyone ever feel like that? Malas ako sa stock market eh. Kada bumibili ako, pababa na. Kada nagbebenta ako, paakyat na. So I always used to use her as a gauge to see whether or not markets were going to go down already. If she's coming to me and saying, baka pwede na ako bumili ng stocks. Right? How come? How come? Do you know why? We are creatures of habit, right? Our objective is, pag nakikita natin may ginagawa ibang tao, naiinggit tayo, kaya din natin yan. Right? So what happens to her is that every time her friend, his sister-in-law, is starting to make money in the stock market, ikakwento sa kanya, uy, laki ng kinita ko sa stock market. Sabihin niya, kaya ko rin yun eh. Right? So maiinggit siya. So pupunta siya sa akin. Magdideposit siya ng pera. Pag nagdideposit na siya ng pera, alam ko na tapos na to. Packet na to. How come? Her sister-in-law, who does not know anything about the stock market, made money in the market. That means what happened to the market? It went up, and it went up a lot. Does that make sense? So if you notice, whenever the markets are at their peak at 9,000 earlier in the year, we have the most account openings. Diba? Right? And when markets are where they are today, right now, pahirapan kami ng magbukas ng account. How come? So think about it like that. How come when the markets are strong, a lot of account openings, when the markets are weak, walang may gusto mag-deposit? Is that normal? How should it be? Shouldn't it be when the markets are cheap like they are today, you should be buying more? And when the markets are expensive at 9,000, you should not be buying as much? Oh, ba't baliktad? Right? You guys here have an edge now. You guys here took your Saturday off. Rainy Saturday, yes, but still took your Saturday off nonetheless to spend time and to learn about markets. This edge alone, in understanding that prices are cheaper today, immediately you have an edge already. And you guys can actually now buy more at the stages. Does that make sense? But when prices are going into 21 times forward PE, you should not be 100% deployed. Does that make sense? You should be closer to maybe 20, 25%, 30% of your portfolio. Does that make sense? You want to be aggressive, the time to be aggressive when nobody wants prices. Is that good? Does that make sense? All right.